Hi, and welcome to day 2 of the Flying Froggies UK adventure. So the pilots fueled up with a full English breakfast before catching a taxi the short distance to Headcorn Aerodrome to fuel up the aircraft. Remember that 2-seat Spitfire I mentioned yesterday? That really must be one of the best noises ever invented by man. The noise of the Continental 0200 isn't bad either. So here we are, Foxtrot X-3 Kilo and Foxtrot Romeo Bravo just behind us, lining up to take off from Headcorn, destination Duxford. We decided to make an early start to make the most of the fresher temperatures early in the morning, as it was expected to get up to about 32 degrees in Duxford later that day. Our planned route took us on a northeasterly heading, overflying Rochester, crossing the Thames at Tilbury Docks at 1,500 feet, with a turning point near Stapleford, and then on to Duxford, avoiding the Luton and Stansted TMAs. Miles and miles of beautiful English countryside. This really is the UK at its best when you're flying in these conditions. If you look behind us, you can just about make out the City of London. Slightly hazy, but it's definitely there. I must say, air traffic control in the UK is so easy compared to some parts of Europe. We were on the frequency of London information for the whole trip. The only time we changed frequency was when we actually approached Duxford itself. What's more, we were flying as a 2-aircraft formation, so I was flying ahead and doing most of the radio communications. After what felt like a very short time, we were actually only 3 or 4 nautical miles away from Duxford itself, and we were given a straight-in clearance. Stefan was flying this leg, and it was a real pleasure to see him landing beautifully at this historic airfield. It was actually the first time I'd landed there since 1994. Given that Foxtrot Romeo Bravo was not far behind us on approach, we were told to exit the runway as soon as possible on the left via the grass. We were instructed to keep going until we got to the parking area and to park next to a Spitfire. I don't mind if I do. What a beauty! It's a Spitfire Mark V with clipped wingtips, which I wasn't expecting to see on a Mark V. Our little Jodels looked so proud to be alongside such a classic aircraft. As luck would have it, these 2 mechanics were about to start work on the Spitfire, and they were really kind and invited us to, one after the other, sit inside the cockpit.
So pull it down.
All clear?
Yeah.
Ah ouais, puis c'est pas des volets, c'est des aéroflets aussi.
Pneumatic.
Yeah. And it stays like
So then close them.
Titanic?
Just release pressure on the back of the jack, and there's big springs that will close
The
in.
insurance company.
So they're back up. So the indicators go down in the top of the window.
So you can go.
Just another day at Duxford, living the dream. Check this out. Oh my God. We'd only been in Duxford for 10 minutes, and here we were sitting in a Spitfire. Looked like a good start for the day. There's not much I can say about Duxford that hasn't already been said, but the Imperial War Museum here offers some of the most amazing aircraft in a huge collection, ranging from the very earliest types through to the very latest. The American hangar, which is absolutely enormous and was built with lottery money a few years ago, brings together the collection of American aircraft. One of my personal favourites here is the Concorde, one of the prototypes, which used to be standing outside in all weathers, and now I'm glad to say it's safely inside a huge hangar. Combien de jus de tomate, monsieur? If you've seen the latest Mission Impossible film, then you'll know what I'm singing about. There's far too much to show in just one video, so here are just a few personal highlights, including a classic Mr. Whippy ice cream van, which we did try out. Prior permission is required if you are flying into Duxford, and we were given two potential dates, the 19th or the 23rd of June, thereby avoiding the big air show that was planned on the 21st and 22nd. This meant that we did get to see quite a few aircraft that were arriving for the air show, but there were quite small crowds as most people were waiting for that show. After a full and fulfilling day at Duxford, it was time to leave and to head off to our next destination. The tower at Duxford closes at 6 p.m, so we had to respect that deadline and get away before then. About 15 minutes after taking off from Duxford, we could see Old Warden ahead. We'd phoned from Duxford to get PPR at Old Warden, and it was our first overhead join of our trip. The final approach is really stunning. Such beautiful countryside to fly over. Well, this was the perfect end to a perfect day. And now the flying frogs are at Old Warden. What a beautiful approach. Tomorrow we're going to check out the Shuttleworth collection. No flying tomorrow, just hanging out. Beer, aeroplanes, sightseeing. I love England when it's like this. Beautiful.